so I'm going to go over partial product multiplication. So for multi-digit multiplication, we have used the place value chart to multiply multi-digit whole numbers. So now we're going to move into partial product, which is where you are multiplying your numbers by kind of breaking them apart. So for example, with 52 times 4, when you're doing partial product, basically what you're doing is 50 times 4 plus 2 times 4. So you're breaking that 52 down into 50 and 2. So how we do this when we're stacking our numbers is we write our equation, so 52 times 4. You always want to make sure that your ones line up. So in 52, 2 is in the ones place and 5 is in the tens place. So you want to make sure that that 4 lines up with your ones. So I'm going to go ahead and label them because that's going to help me out later. This O is for ones and then the T is for tens. So when we're doing partial product, we start by multiplying in the ones. So I take 4 times 2, and I know that 4 times 2 is 8. Now the second part of this problem that you had to do was out to the side, you had to write out exactly what you're multiplying. So I'm multiplying 4 times 2 ones. So that's why I put that O up there. So you had to write out this multiplication sentence right here, 4 times 2 ones. So now what you have to do is do the second part of your problem. So 4 times 50 . 4 times 50, because remember, you've already multiplied the 2, so now you need to multiply the 5. But that's not a 5, it's a 50. So whenever we're multiplying with a number that ends in 0, I'm going to take the 4 and multiply that times 5. And 4 times 5 is 20. And then I have another 0, and I'm going to add that at the end. So 4 times 50 is 200. So in my problem, I'm going to write 200, but make sure that your place values line up. So your ones should line up, your tens should line up, and then we don't have a hundreds up here, but we know that that's next. Now next to this part, I have to write out 4 times the number that I multiplied, which was 5. But remember, I said it's not just 5, it's 50. So instead of writing 5 ones, because 50 is not 5 ones, 50 is 5 tens. And then the next part was to add these two numbers together. 8 plus 200 is 208. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to copy this down. I'm going to move on to the next problem. So I'm going to multiply 31 times 6. Now, whenever you're doing your assignments, you have to write out that number sentence off to the side. So just like on this problem, you need to have this part written, the 4 times 2 ones and the 4 times 5 tens. You will lose credit for not doing that. So I'm going to work through this next problem, but keep in mind, you always have to write down those sentences, at least for now, while we're doing it. Now, we will get to a point when we won't need to, but that is not happening yet. So I'm going to start out by multiplying my ones together. So in 31, in the ones place, I have just 1, and then in the tens place, I have a 3. So I'm going to take 6 times 1, which is 6. And off to the side, I'm going to write 6 times 1, 1, because that's how many ones I have in 31, just 1. And now I'm going to do the 6 times the 30. So 6 times 30, 6 times 3 is 18. I have another 0, and I add it at the end. So 6 times 30 is 180. Now off to the side, I need to write 6 times 3, and my 3 is in the tens place because that's actually 30. So 6 times 3 tens. And then I need to add those numbers together. So my answer is 186. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to copy this part down. We're going to look at 72 times 2. I'm going to multiply, oops, let me change that color. I'm going to multiply 6 times my number in the, or excuse me, 2 times my number in the 1. So 2 times 2, which is 4. And then off to the side, I'm going to write 2 times 2 ones. Now I'm going to do 2 times 70. 2 times 7 equals 14. We have another 0 added at the end. So 2 times 70 is 140. And off to the side, I'm going to write 2 times 7 tens. Now I'm going to add up my numbers. And my answer is 144. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to copy this down. Okay. You're going to pause the video and solve for 39 times 8. And then I'll come back and we'll work through it. Okay, so you should have 39 times 8 solved. So let's work through it and you can check your work along the way. So I'm going to label my ones and my tens. If you feel like you're really good at place value and you know your place value, you don't have to label it. If you still struggle with place value, just do yourself a favor here and label it really quickly. So now I'm going to multiply my ones. So my 8 times the number in my ones. So 8 times 9, which is 72. And off to the side, I'm going to write 8 times 9 ones. Now I need to do the next part, which is 8 times my 3. But the 3 is in the tens place. So that actually means 8 times 30. 8 times 3 is 24. Then I have another 0 at the end. So 8 times 30 is 240. So I'm going to write that here. And then off to the side, I'm going to write 8 times 30, which is 8 times 3 tens. Now I'm going to add all these numbers up. 2 plus 0 is 2. 7 plus 4 is 11. Let's bring the 1 down here, carry the 1 up here, and then 1 plus 2 is 3. So your answer is 312. So on your exit ticket, you will see that I've actually already solved this part up here for you, but I'm going to solve it again just so you know exactly how you need to solve this on your exit ticket, because it is different to type it instead of writing it. So when you open your exit ticket, you have these boxes. If there is a box, that means that you need to put something in that box. Okay, so by the end of the exit ticket, you should not have any empty boxes. So I'm going to work through this problem on your assignment. It's already filled in. So I'm going to start by multiplying 4 times 3 because I'm going to multiply my ones times my 4. So 4 times 3 is 12. And then off to the side, I'm going to write 4 times 3 ones. Just use an X for the times. Now I'm going to multiply 4 times 70, which is 280. And you might have to do that on a piece of paper and then put your answer in. That's fine. If it is easier for you to solve your problem on paper and then look at it and just come in and fill in the boxes, do that as well. But off to the side, I'm going to write 4 times 7 tens. And then I'm going to add these together. So 12 plus 280 is 292. So then you're going to do this part, and you should have all 5 of these boxes filled in. So this first box should be your 4 times your ones. And then off to the side, you would put 4 times however many ones you have. Then it's going to be your 4 times your tens. Off to the side, 4 times however many tens you have. And then your answer. If you're missing any part of this, you will unfortunately lose points because that is part of the assignment. Okay, I hope that was helpful. If you need any more help, stay after school.